one. This is Racking Over for Box UK, sponsored by Supreme CBD, here with Eddie Hearn. Another big event in central London, Westfield City. Only AJ can bring us out, can't he?
Sorry?
Only AJ can bring us out, can't he?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I know there's critics and so forth, but the reality is, where else do you see 4 tiers at a shopping centre full and packed for a fighter in the UK? You just don't. So I like the fight, and I like what I saw up there from AJ. I love the undercard. I think it's a great night of boxing.
Of course, there was a few words between AJ and Helenius. He was right up in the mix of it. What exactly did they say to one another?
It's like, you know, when they turn from the head to head to the face to front, Helenius wouldn't take his stare off him, so he went like this. And AJ just said, "You got a problem?" And he was like, "No." And he went, "Okay." But he wouldn't stop staring at him, and he wouldn't face the front. So he said, "You know that all this stuff don't matter unless you want to fight now." And he didn't say anything. He said, "So do you want to fight me now?" And I thought, "Oh, shit."
About to pop off.
And then he said, "Do you want to fight me now or you want to stay cool?" And Helenius went, "I'll stay cool." I thought, thank God for that. So I liked it. You know, you've got to pump yourself up for these fights, really, because sometimes the down spiral of the fight falling through with Dillian White, you've got to be up for these nights, because one mistake from a puncher like Helenius and it's all over.
Just touching on Dillian White, when you got the news from the board, what were your first initial reactions? Was it almost like a deja vu, a groundhog day?
Yeah, I mean, it's like, because you've been through it before, obviously you're shocked and you're gutted, but it's like I just thought, are you joking? Like, you're doing this to me again? Unbelievable. But obviously a week out from the fight, just had to speak to Dillian's team, and every result, every analysis is different, and we reviewed that, and they've got a big fight on their hands now, and I hope he's innocent. I really do. I'd be gutted if he wasn't, but he's got to go and prove that now, and hopefully he can.
Will you be willing to work with Dillian White again moving forward in the future?
Yeah, I think subject to what happens now. I mean, look, I get on really well with him. I know he's not a contracted fighter, but we've done a lot of fights with him. And again, I know that he's always insistent on this testing. And he knew this testing was in place. So some of it don't really make sense, but obviously the results are the results, and it has to be dealt with.
And can we just confirm the David Haye conversation in seconds out of what was said that he had knew about a week beforehand? Not true.
Oh, he said that, did he? Oh, he said not true, or I'm saying?
Obviously, you're saying it's not true.
Yeah, of course. I mean, look, no one had those results before us, and Del Boy made some comments. Sometimes people hear things not about test results, but about, there's always, I mean, if you take notice of what someone said on, in a boxing rumour or whatever, we'd be discussing it all day, and sometimes things get said, I don't know, but certainly no one got that information before us.
And just moving on, Fabio Wardley's David Adelaide, the purse bid was meant to be yesterday. It's been pushed back a month, but there's words that you are going to work on it sooner with Queensbury to try and make it happen.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like Dillian White is negotiating with Queensbury. Obviously, he's Fabio's manager, and those guys, they've made him an offer that he's reviewing a one-fight deal to fight that fight. He's just got to decide whether he takes that deal or goes to purse bids. So that's over to Fabio, and I'm sure he'll make the move that he feels is best for his career.
And of course, Matchroom won the purse bid for Rocky Hernandez and Shaquino Foster. When would you be looking to get that fight?
Yeah, that'll land on one of our Mexico shows. It'll be a huge fight in Mexico City. Looks like October. And then we'd like the winner of that fight to fight Joe Cordina.
Of course, Joe Cordina was meant to fight on his 30th. That was penciled in. Now he'll be fighting in Monaco. Any more news on that?
Potentially, yeah. He wasn't quite ready. He had a couple of little niggles. So looks like he's going to fight in Monaco in November. And just looking at a top 15 guy, really, before that big outdoor show in Cardiff, we hope in spring, summer.
Would a Monaco show be a Matchroom show, or would that be another promotion show?
Yeah, Matchroom show, yeah.
Anyone on the undercard potentially?
Yeah, we're looking at a lot of our international fighters on that card. We haven't announced yet, but we will do, I think, next week.
And of course, Brook and Benn going back and forth on Twitter. They can't seem to get away from each other. Is Conor Benn licensed to fight in the UK? Has he been cleared?
Not yet. He's been cleared by UCAD, but obviously he has to go through and get his license with the British Boxing Board of Control, which we'd like to do. That's imminent, that move from us. And then hopefully we can see him back in the ring ASAP. I love the Kell Brook fight, and we'll see what happens.
How as a promoter do you feel you can shake the scandal shadows off of Conor Benn moving forwards?
He's done everything he's been asked to do. He was asked to go through the WBC process. He went through that. He was cleared of any wrongdoing. He was reinstated into the rankings. Then they said, no, you got to go through the UCAD trial. He went through the UCAD trial. They lifted his suspension. He's cleared to fight. I think you can't really worry about, no one's ever going to be 100% happy. But it's been a year and a half since he's boxed. He's been through a lot, and he's been through everything that's been asked to him. So hopefully we can move forward now.
And Cyrus Patterson, rumoured to be fighting in Newcastle, headline show. Any ideas of his opponent? Could be a former veteran of the North?
Yeah, I mean, certainly Cyrus has a tough fight in Birmingham next week. If he can come through that, it's no secret. I love Cyrus Patterson against Lewis Ritson. It's a real crossroads fight. I think we can bring a big night back to Newcastle, which has been lacking really in recent times. And that could be, that's a do or die for Lewis Ritson and a massive fight for Cyrus Patterson. But let's see if he can win in Birmingham first.
And talking of massive fights, Bam, Sonny, December 16th, is that confirmed?
That's the rumour, apparently. We'll see. I think we got three or four fights to announce tomorrow night, and that'll be one of them. But yeah, West Coast, middle of December.
And another big card, Catterall Linares. Of course, if Catterall doesn't get through that, will we be looking at world titles and potentially the rematch with Josh Taylor?
I love the Josh Taylor rematch. That's one we'll definitely try and make. But obviously, Jack wants to fight for world titles as well. But we shall see. See if he can come through Jorge Linares, who's training hard. It's going to be a tough fight.
And lastly, just going to cross over here. A fight that was meant to be announced this week, but kind of fell through. Slim versus Salt Pappy on the DAZN KSI cards.
That's a shame. That card, listen, you know how I feel about Misfits. I think it's a great product. Some of it's, not what we always love in boxing, but that's a great card. KSI, Tommy Fury, and Logan Paul against Dylan Dennis. And Salt Pappy against Slim is also a great fight. I sound like a Misfits fan, but Salt Pappy lost in this. And Salt Pappy against Slim is also a great fight. I sound like a Misfits fan, but Salt Pappy lost, didn't he?
Lost his last fight, yeah.
I know, and I rated him as well. And Slim's awkward, isn't he? But hopefully that fight can get made.
How do you see that one going?
Slim's awkward, Slim's awkward. Salt Pappy might not be as good as I thought he was, but hopefully I like that fight. Good luck to both.
And lastly, just on to the main event of tomorrow night, AJ Helenius. How are you seeing this fight going?
I think it'll be a little bit cagey early on. Then I think that AJ will knock him out inside 6 rounds.
If the fight goes past 6 rounds, what questions are we asking of ourselves?
Don't worry about it. Let's see how he looks. Do you know what I mean? That's the key. Just because he lost, Helenius lost early to Wilder, doesn't mean that he just gets knocked out. He's got a decent chin, he's experienced, he can punch. So let's just get the win.
Thank you very much for your time.
Cheers, mate.
Thanks.